Welcome to Momentum Investing, property investing made easy. One of the world's top podcasts on property investing, bringing you the top experts in the field so you can learn firsthand what it takes to create passive income and take control over your financial future.
Hello and welcome to the Momentum Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Wood. Thank you so much for joining us here today. One of the most common questions I get about, starting the property investing journey is, how do you do it when you have a full-time job? Now, of course, when I started out, I had a full-time job and so did Gisela. We both had full-time jobs, we had kids, and we built our portfolio. It is definitely doable. But as with always, we did this a while back, and there's always a reason why maybe someone can do it and someone can't. So I wanted to do something special for this week's episode because I wanted you to get an opportunity to see, how do you juggle having a full-time job and building a portfolio? How do you get that traction and momentum when you can't really spend the day and when you're usually tired coming into the evening? So I asked Charlie Daelander to join us on the show. Charlie is a new property investor, but he's already done property deals. He is one of the Momentum Property Education Mentorship students and is building traction, building his cash flow. He has a full-time job all day, and then he builds his property portfolio, his empire, in the evening. In this episode, he shares, how do you do that juggling? How do you build? What does it take to succeed? And he is really having some great progress and scale. So you're going to love this episode. If you're excited to get started on scaling your property journey, you're going to love it. So please make sure you subscribe to the Momentum Investing Podcast or the Momentum Property Education YouTube channel so that you get all the updates. So you learn, every Tuesday we come out on YouTube with a video on what's going on in the economy. Is it going up? Is it going down? What do you do with it as an investor? Thursdays, the podcast comes out with exciting guests like Charlie this week. And on Saturdays, we have our Passive Income Mastery show. So if you're excited to build your property portfolio, well, make sure you subscribe so that you get all the updates and all the support so you can reach your goals. Now, let's get into the interview with Charlie. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Momentum Investing Podcast. I am really excited to be here with Charlie Daelander, a property investor who is building his international property portfolio. Welcome to the show, Charlie.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you.
Well, I'm very, very excited to have you here. You have made quite the journey. You live in Sweden. You're investing in the UK. You've been going, trying to build your portfolio through the pandemic, and you're doing deals. So please tell us a little bit about, how you started, why you started, and, where are you now? Where are you going?
How did I start it? Well, it was actually about 3-4 years ago. My girlfriend at that time, she was very interested in personal development, and I wasn't.
Right?
No, I had my life, I had my work, I had my friends, and I think everything is okay, but I haven't given thought about my retirement at all. But then she took me to different courses, personal development, and Tony Robbins and a lot of other, and meditation and stuff. And then one day we happened to come to your meeting at Plaza Hotel, I think it was.
Yeah.
And about properties. And then this is really something that I can grab, is something that has real value for me. It was a 2-day meeting. I think it wasn't when Matthew Moody was there. It was actually you, and it was Vukas holding that meeting. And it was really, really interesting. So, of course, you are always curious, and it was free. So I went, me and Rita, and we went for a few meetings, and I get more and more and more interested. And then we actually said we are going to do the mentor course, because I saw a lot of possibilities for the future, for my retirement, for passive income. And it was very, very important for me. It was actually like you turning a page. It was, okay, I haven't been thinking about this, but then suddenly, okay, now I'm thinking about this and I have a solution. How am I going to have the second part of my life and enjoy? So we started a mentor course, and then we broke up, and then we still go on, both of us, on the mentor course. Yeah. So yeah, and that was great. It was with your fabulous wife, Gisela. Yeah. And she's very good, and it was a tough course, but it was very interesting. So, you know, it was February, it was 2020, and I was ready to go. Ready, steady. Yeah, now I'm going to buy some properties.
Yep. So essentially what you'd gone through is the free introduction day. You'd done our 2-day workshop. You decided to do the mentorship. You'd started the mentorship. You'd gotten all the connections. You were ready to go. And then something little happened.
Yeah. Pandemic, lockdown, you know.
Yep. The world changed all of a sudden.
Yeah. Do you remember I was talking, it was my first deal. Actually, it was in February, March 2020, and you all congratulate me to my first deal. And then suddenly the pandemic come and just swipe everything away. It was impossible to go inside people's home. Viewings was impossible. And, you know, and the whole life was upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was tough, because I was ready to go.
Yeah. No, I remember you were rearing to go, and then all of a sudden the world said, no, calm down, wait your turn. You'll have another chance later.
And I got another chance later, and I think the chance I got was much better. So I think, you know, I think it is a meaning with everything. You can't say, now I'm ready. Oh, I'm so sad. Everything is going down. I was okay, this has happened now. So let's see what opportunities will come with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. And so what happened? You had been stopped in your track. You were a little bit frustrated. So what happened? What did you do?
Well, I was thinking a lot, and I was always studying more, and I started networking a lot with people in Britain and with other networking here in Sweden about properties, and I connect to people, and then Zoom get very big, and you have these opportunities to actually meet people, but you know, in a digital way.
Yeah.
And that has been great, because I made a lot of connection all over the world thanks to Zoom. Yeah. So yeah, so that has been very, very valuable. And then actually it was my JV partner I have now, I met through the course, the mentor course, because at that time she was a sourcing agent, and now she's investing in property herself, and she wants me to join her, so I have done that.
Just to make the point, obviously she was investing before as well, but she started scaling way too quickly, and all of a sudden she said, no, I just don't have the time to to do sourcing. But luckily you got to know her and you guys became friends. So that led to other opportunities.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm doing now.
Right. So tell us about the deals you're doing, and or actually before we get into the deals, talk about how you guys decided to start working together and kind of that process, because that's not always completely easy to actually get into a partnership? How did you find each other? How did the negotiation go? How did you figure out that both parties can be, happy in the partnership, safe in the partnership, all these kind of details that go into it?
All these kind of details. Actually, when I talked to her the first time, we immediately connected, mind to mind. And so we just go on talking, and we have been talking about 5 days a week since then, and it's more 1 year and 2 months. We're talking almost every day now. So actually, she's my, you say twin soul, or you say soulmate,
Soulmate? Yeah.
Yeah. So we are. We both have many levels inside, because she's very much into intuition and meditation, and I'm into meditation in a way, maybe intuition later. Well,
you follow your intuition. You do. I think so.
Yeah. So and we have been talking a lot, so we've become friends very, very early, and very good friends. So, and that was far before we actually start talking business,
right?
In that way, to make a joint venture, and we have so many common points in our life, because I'm also composing music, and when I come into different networks with meditation, and I was thinking about they don't have that much good music, so I have an idea, because she has a lot of connection in meditation. I was thinking, what about if I'm composing meditation music? And she said, oh yeah, that would be nice. And actually she she had a big birthday. Having a big birthday when it's COVID is not that nice. So and I couldn't come to her and give her a present. So actually I composed music to her for meditation in 3 different parts. And I said, well, I want you to choose one part, and then I'm going to make it longer, and so you can sleep good, because she has a little bit problem sleeping sometime.
Right.
And she totally loves it. So, and then she said that she is writing meditation herself. And then, it was a partnership there.
Right.
Yeah, so we have put out our meditation on YouTube. Life is Bellissimo. Life is Bellissimo. 2L, 2S. So search there, and you can hear our first meditation and one more piece of music. Yeah, I have to advertise us.
Very cool.
So, yeah, and then after that, she called me one day, and she said actually that her intuition had told her that she wants to work with me in properties.
Right.
Yeah.
And your reaction was, oh no, absolutely not.
Well, I know what you have taught us, and that is a safe way to make business in England. Is starting with a buy to let and another buy to let, and you making refurbishment, and then you take a loan, refinance it, and you take part of that money, the momentum investing.
Yeah.
And then after 2 years of experience, then you can start with HMO. But you are much younger than I am. Yeah. So, and this lady, she is full of energy, and she has a lot of fantastic ideas.
Yeah.
So what I get involved is actually a 10-bed service accommodation in Skipton.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes, and of course, it's a little bit more risk with that. It is, but
Yeah.
at the same time, my personal development, you can always be in your safe zone, but I'm a little bit tired of I was tired of my safe zone. I wanted to take a step outside, and develop myself. And it's only one life, as we know.
Yeah.
So I really want to do something, and this is fun. This is fun. It's a little bit risky, but it can give us a lot of money. So I'm sorry to say that I skipped the first two steps.
Well, tell us more about the deal. So it's in Skipton.
Yep.
And for those who don't know where that is, where in the country are we there?
Well, northern part over Leeds and the middle of the Great Britain, you can say.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So close to Yorkshire, that area, and it's a beautiful town, beautiful town. So it's a lot of tourists there.
Right.
And this year, a lot of British people are going to tourist in their own country.
Right.
So the service accommodation
there.
What?
So there's a huge opportunity there to rent it out as internal tourism.
Yes, and then other years there's a lot of foreign tourists coming to that town too.
Right. So see, long term you'll still have tourism. It just will shift the demographic a little bit.
Oh yes. So and we make calculation, and the ROI and it's very good. Cash and cash return is very, very good. Even if we have only, I think when it's bad, it's about 53% a year.
Right. The occupancy.
The occupancy. Yeah. And when it's good, it's 80. So it's really, really good numbers. But of course, we have had some struggles.
Yeah, well, tell us what struggles have you had so far? What's come up?
Well, what's come up? This is a new area for her, but she loved the area, and the first struggle is actually with builders. Our common struggle before, she had a lot of struggles, but maybe she can talk about that herself. But our common struggle is actually the builders.
Right.
Yeah, it's very, very hard to find. It's hard here in Sweden, but it's even harder in Britain actually. And it has been strange times now because all the prices have gone up, and they really don't seem to care. And she actually living about 4 or 5 hours from the place. Right. And it's not that easy. So she has started to build up a power team now, or the only thing we miss is actually the builders. But now it's rolling again, but it's late. It should be running up and running now. Should be up and running now. But I think it will take about 3 weeks more, something like that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But all right, so it's a little behind schedule. How about the budget though? Because that's something that builders can quickly run off on the budget. Has that been close to the same? Has that gone up as well, or what has been the situation there?
Well, the situation is when you're taking in quotes from different builders, and of course you like to have as low quotes as possible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you take the cheapest, there are always problems with that.
Yeah.
Because they are maybe not that serious, or maybe they don't have time, and they want this job, but they really don't have time. So they take this job too, and when it's nobody there checking them, then doing the other jobs first, and then, you know, on spare time they're doing this, and then it goes very slowly. So I think the experience I've got from it is you really need to find a good power team, and good builders that is a part of a power team. I can't say it enough. It's very, very, very important. So, but now we have found serious people, and actually, because we are going to invest in that area and the whole Yorkshire, of course, for a building team, it's good that it will be more work, and if they do this work good, then we will hire them again, you know, and then you have them.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's really the key. It's all about the team. It's all about the people, and that's obviously the challenge when we're, you know, 1,000 miles away, and that's why we partner with people locally. That's why we find these partners. But how about for someone who's considering property investing, who's considering the idea of starting to invest internationally? What advice would you give them now that you've kind of taken a few steps, you've done your first deal, you're even looking at your second deal, and you know, you've come from, you know, really, you know, not having anything to do with this industry. You've gone through a process, and now you're actually doing deals. You're on the cusp of starting to get a lot of cash flow coming in, and your portfolio is going to scale. What would you tell someone who's maybe about where you were maybe 3 years ago?
Yeah. Well, the first thing, I think the most important part, or there are a lot of important parts, but one of the important part is mindset. And actually, because things never go the way you think they will, and if you just you know, being crushed to ground, and you know, and giving up, and that's not a good idea. And it was actually the same with the education I took with you guys. It was very, very hard sometimes, but I never give up. I remember, you know, if you come as an international and don't have English as your modersmål, what's that called?
Your native language. Yeah.
Native language, yes. There are so many new expressions, so many new words. So, you know, I'm a little bit like analytic guy. So what I did actually a word list, a dictionary, for myself, so I can go back, you know, and try to learn. And it was one day, you know, when I heard people that were more experienced than me, and they're talking buy to let, R2R, HMO, you know, all these 3-letter,
There's abbreviations,
there are a bunch of 3 letters. And you know, what are they talking about? What are you talking about? And you know, after a couple of months, I understand it, and I was talking the same way myself. And what I want to say with that is, be patient. It will come when it feels really, really low, and say, I can never learn this. Don't give up. That's the mindset.
That's a great tip. And it's funny when you kind of realize that too, because I can imagine you started talking that same way. You started talking about the HMO deals you were looking at, the rent-to-rent you were considering, without even realizing that, wait a sec, 2 months ago, I didn't even know these words existed, and now I'm discussing lease option strategies. It's so funny how it kind of sinks into you, and it becomes a part of who you are. And now you're a property investor, and you speak the lingo. It's a very cool experience, and it's always nice to take a step back and kind of go like, wait a sec, a couple months ago, I didn't even know what these things meant, and now it's a part of my basic vernacular. I'm shocked when people don't understand what I mean when I say HMO. But just a few months ago, I had no idea what they were. So it's a very cool journey. So yeah, what else should we keep in mind if I'm new as an investor? It's going to be tough, but you're going to slowly but surely learn it in. What else do you need to succeed?
Oh, networking. It gives so much. It gives so much to find peers around you that have the same experience or more experience or less experience, and you have all these discussions. Networking. It's so nice to meet.
So how do you find these network groups then? Where that's one of the things I always felt when I was starting out. They would say, go network. And I went, where? The store? Where do I go? Where do I find these people? So what have you experienced? You've done that really well.
Well, you get it from the Facebook group, and you always
it says the Facebook group. It is the only Facebook group, right? It's
no,
the International Property Investors.
Yeah, International Property Investors.
Yep.
Yes, you can find a lot there, and a lot of people, and they invite you or they just make a tip, and then also when you start talking to people in the UK. You always get invited in local property business.
Yeah, and there are lots of great local meetup groups and groups and progressive groups. There's so many of these where investors meet up locally, and it's such a good place for information. Especially when you're doing due diligence on potential power team members. That investor group, they always know. If you ask, well, what do you guys think of this builder? Oh no, stay away from that person. Or no, that one's great. That one's the best. You get that information just like that, and it's at your fingertips.
Yeah. So networking is the next step. Yeah. And then for me, it has been so much worth actually to start knowing people in the UK that are in place, because they know so much. And well, one tough thing, and I told Gisela that it was actually when it was Richard Ignatovic, the mortgage broker. Yeah.
Who, by the way, if you're listening, Richard has been on the Momentum Investing podcast twice talking about lending. So that's the Richard we're talking about.
Yes, that's the Richard we're talking about. And it was how to apply for a mortgage.
Right.
So before talking to him, I was downloaded this how to apply for a mortgage in Britain.
Right.
And God damn it. I was feeling like a fool because, as you know, in Britain, here in Sweden, you said your personnummer,
your social security number,
and they know all about you.
Yeah.
When we apply for mortgages, you have to sign in 3 different places.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Page after page after page of information that they asked for.
Yes. So there's a lot of paperwork in Britain, and actually you can't do it yourself. You have to have a good mortgage broker. You have to have a good accountant. You have to have people that you rely on, that have done it before and can give you tips. So that is very important. Start knowing people and socializing with people and talking to people and take their knowledge. And what is very, very beautiful, I haven't met anyone in this business or actually in personal development that not want to give. Everybody wants to give. Yeah. And of course, I'm giving back, and I think that is a lot of this universal energy or intuition. The more you give, the more you get back. And it feels good to give. And I can see that you are feeling good giving, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why we do this, isn't it? That's why we do this.
yeah, you give all the time, and I try to give back, and I think that is wonderful because everybody wants to help you in all this networking and the social media and all the people you connect with. They want to give, they want to help you, and I think it's wonderful. Actually, it was a total new experience for me that there are so many people that have such good hearts. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I completely agree. It is very cool the way people are supporting each other and helping each other out. And on that note, I know you are very active on social media. You're sharing your journey. If anyone listening to this show wants to learn more from you and kind of follow you along as you're, as you're staking this path, as you're creating this future for yourself, where can they connect with you?
Oh, my company, actually, I set it up because my daughter, she was tattooing two Englishmen who was here in Stockholm. Yeah. And she said, you must have something with Scandinavia, Daddy, because the Englishmen here say they just love Sweden, love the North. So actually, my company name, my limited company name is Scandia Living.
Right.
It's with K, not with C, because it should be Swedish. So you can find me on Instagram, Scandia Living.
All right.
And then I also put up my story on my own name on Facebook. I haven't started yet. I will on Facebook, but you can spell my name, I think.
I will figure that out. I'll add a link to your Facebook and I'll add a link to your Instagram.
Yes, that's great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Charlie, and everyone who's listened. Thank you so much for joining in. We got exciting news in a moment, so please stick with us. And Charlie, I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. I hope you got value there because it is so exciting how Charlie's gone through this journey, and I know your journey is going to be, or already is, just as exciting. So I'm super excited to hear from you. Please make sure you comment if you're watching this on YouTube and share your journey. Otherwise, if you're watching this through or listening to this through one of the podcast platforms we're on, please go to the International Property Investors Group. That's our Facebook community, International Property Investors. You can find it by going to the Momentum Property Education Facebook page and see linked groups. And please share your journey. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you're doing and maybe feature you on the podcast to give that inspiration to other investors of what can happen, how can this journey go, and how can you succeed. So thank you so much for joining us today. Next week, we got a really exciting show because we got none other than Mark Lloyd. Mark is a very, very skilled investor. He's doing a lot of different developments and he shares kind of the deals he's working on right now. Why is he looking at that type of deals and how is he structuring those deals for success? So you're going to love this episode. Make sure you subscribe to the Momentum Property Education YouTube channel and to the podcast so you get the updates on all the new videos and new shows that are coming out. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.